Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. Today has been a very interesting day, and I say that because over the course of today, I have probably received 30 messages via Instagram, email, and also just messages via my website about the announcement that Bad Idea is going out of business. And I want to actually show you guys what it is that people have been sending over to me that I was also able to find online. So let me see if I can share my screen with you so that we can all look at this together. At this point in the day, I am pretty sure that most of you have already heard about this. Again, it's been something that has been circulating pretty much all day. And here is the message. Let me make sure that you guys can see this. This is the message that was displayed on their Instagram earlier today. It basically says, "We regret to inform you that despite our best efforts and all of your wonderful support, Bad Idea as we know it must end. Our sincerest apologies for the incredible journey. We will be announcing and releasing books through the end of the year. Beyond that, Bad Idea is over." And this is the message again that was posted up on Bad Idea's Instagram feed. And it is crazy, man. It's crazy. Now, the first person that messaged me, I honestly cannot remember who it was, because again, I received a lot of messages over the course of the day. And if you were one of those people that messaged me early today and made me aware of this, thank you very much. I absolutely appreciate all of those comic book soldiers, all of those members of the Gimmick gang that are out there feeding information back to the channel, because it helps me to stay in the know. And when I first received the message about this, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Tell me more. And then I started reading all the other messages that came behind it, because again, I was working all day and did not see it. So I immediately looked at this. A couple of people sent me links to it. So I look at it and I immediately spotted the fact that this is a gimmick. This is a gimmick in my estimation, and it was apparent to me the second time that I read it. It says here, "As we know it, Bad Idea as we know it must end. Beyond that, Bad Idea is over." Yes, Bad Idea is over, but what's going to come in a few days is the announcement that they are rebranding themselves as a new company. And this was the epiphany that I had as I read this message. And I think it might have been Clyde. It might have been Clyde that I was talking with at the time that I actually had this epiphany. And then I commented back to all the other folks that I think that this is a gimmick. And I do believe that it is. And then maybe an hour and a half later, Clyde actually sent me something. Clyde Wheeler, who is active in the Discord, who is active in the chats, he actually sent me a clip. He actually sent me a podcast. That confirmed my suspicions early this morning that this is indeed a gimmick. And I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear it, but shout out to Absolute Comics Podcast, formerly The Weekly Pull. Let me make sure that you guys can see that. And I'm going to keep my eye on the chat, because I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear this, but I do want to play this very brief clip for you guys.
What was supposed to be a bad idea is actually being something we stupidly fell into that works.
Right. Will you ever rename the company?
Yes, actually, we have a plan to. We're going to be announcing soon that we're going to go away. Because
it sounds like you're gonna Death of Superman yourselves.
Yeah, that's actually what we call it. That's funny.
So this was a clip from Absolute Comics Podcast 21 days ago. And the folks over at Bad Idea basically told us exactly what they were going to do. They basically said, hey, we are going to continue in this vein of just doing, bad idea things. And we are going to basically end our sales, and then we are going to come back as a different thing. And so if you think about it, this is very much in line with what they have been doing consistently from the very beginning. And I don't necessarily think that it's a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea, because if you think about it, I personally received 30 messages about this earlier today. How much have we as a comic book community been talking about this one today? Heck, I'm even doing a video right now with the name of their company as part of the title, giving them free publicity, right? I mean, that's literally what we are doing right now. These guys are potentially some geniuses at what they are doing because they are getting us to talk about their company. They're getting us to talk about these bad ideas, the things that they are doing. We are talking about is spreading the word of this company. Now, here's the one good thing. There's a couple of good things. They are putting out some good content. ENIAC is a good book. Tankers is pretty darn good. I haven't read Wellsville just yet, but they are doing some really awesome stuff. And the truth of the matter is that there are other companies out there that could actually learn from some of what they're doing. Not all, but some of what they're doing, because potentially the negative side that comes with this is that they are potentially creating confusion in the marketplace. They might be frustrating people. At a certain point, gimmicks go a little too far, and they like many things, can backfire and have some negative effects as well, because you could have some people that are like, this is too much. This is too much for me. I'm out. Right. So I think that these guys at some point are going to have to find the right balance to continue doing what it is that they're doing, which is putting out some good stuff, getting people to talk about them, breaking through the clutter of what could be a very crowded marketplace. And they are carving out some space for themselves. And these guys are not stupid people. They are not stupid. They are experienced people, experienced marketers, experienced publishers. They are doing, again, some good stuff, but they're going to have to find that right balance so as to not prevent people from starting to tune out the things that they're doing, because as soon as you hear it, you're like, oh, gimmick, right? Now you don't listen at all because it's no longer a bad idea. It's a silly idea. You don't want to slip into silly season. You don't want to do that. But again, this is just something that kind of hit me earlier today when Squirrel Man is like, I should be working. One of the things that hit me earlier today when I saw these various announcements that were coming in, I kind of spotted it. I had a feeling that it might be that I continued doing the work that I needed to be doing. And then my man Clyde hit me with the confirmation, this podcast that came out 21 days ago that basically gave us the blueprint. They literally told us what they were going to do, and they are doing nothing but executing that plan. So Matt Woods is like, perfect time. I just got off of work. What is this? I feel like the creators of Bad Idea is literally the old guard, elitist, old school guys who want to keep comics for readers only and represent people who use and resent the people. I don't know if I disagree with that. I think that we may be assigning to them maybe some things that should not be assigned to them. I don't want to assume those things. I would say that it seems like to me that they are trying to do right by comic book readers and collectors and not speculators. But at the same time, by doing some of the things that they're doing, they are actually driving and fueling the speculation market. You know what I'm saying? Like they're making sure that only the right comic shops are supporting what they're doing. They're making sure that those comic shops are selling those comics at cover price on the day that they're released and stuff like that. That like those things make sense. They make comics affordable. They limit people from going into a comic shop and buying up, 20 copies or whatever it is. It's also smart for them because now they are controlling their costs. They're controlling their costs a lot better by controlling how many books they're producing, where they're going. They're controlling, of course, like returns and waste and all that kind of stuff. All smart stuff, but also by controlling it and limiting where people can get it, it also potentially forces some people that don't have a local comic shop, for instance, to go to the secondary market where, of course, those books are marked up. Now, imagine those people that had bought ENIAC or whatever it was. What was it? That book was going for like $450. Imagine if Bad Idea actually went out of business and there were people out there that bought that book for $450 because they didn't have a local comic shop and they really wanted to participate. Where would they be? Kind of up a creek. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. Like on one hand, the things that they're doing are really wonderful. On the other hand, they do have some downstream negative effects. And this is life. Like, I'm not saying these guys are doing anything wrong. Like, it's life. Like, almost everything has a negative connotation, or I'm not negative connotation, but potentially negative aspects. So Let me see. Yeah. So a couple of people are actually coming in a little bit late. And so I just want to recap here that earlier today, it was announced that on the Bad Idea website, that Bad Idea was essentially, let me see if I can get it back up here on screen real quick. Let me see if I can do it real quick. So this right here is the post that I think most people saw earlier today. Nope, not that one. Let me share the right one. Let me see if I can get the right screen up. But bear with me. People had too many windows open. This is the one right here. This is Instagram. It says, "We regret to inform you that despite our best efforts and all of your wonderful support, Bad Idea as we know it must end. Our sincerest thanks for the incredible journey. We will be announcing and releasing books through the end of the year. Beyond that, Bad Idea is over." So if they were really going out of business, why are they releasing books through the end of the year? It's another 6 months, 7 months or so of content that they will be releasing. The key words here is as we know it. Bad Idea as we know it must end. When I read that the second time around earlier today, it hit me that this is another Bad Idea gimmick that they are doing. And the idea here in my head, and I commented to many people earlier today, that this seemed like a gimmick and it seemed like an opportunity for them to rebrand themselves as something else. Because I don't know if you're going to run with Bad Idea forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is only going to take you so far, right? But what they have done is they have gotten us over the course of whatever period of time to spend a lot of time talking about them, free publicity, free advertising with all of the stuff that they're doing. And now potentially they're going to rebrand themselves to a better name, a different name, right? And what happened is I had this epiphany earlier today. My man Clyde sent me a podcast a few hours ago that confirmed my suspicion. 21 days ago, one of the Bad Idea guys was on a podcast and basically announced that they were indeed going to change their name to something else. And the podcast is out there. I don't have it teed up anymore like I did before, but Absolute Comics Podcast, formerly the Weekly Pull. This was an interview was with the Bad Idea folks. So again, we have basically confirmation. I want to say that this podcast episode was released 21 days ago. And I want to say like 1,424 people listened to it. So I mean, that's a lot of people for a podcast. Let's be completely honest, but not a ton of people in the grand scheme of things that would have known about this and guarded against these things kind of spreading like wildfire. So to me, again, it seems as if Bad Idea is not going out of business. They are continuing in the vein of things that they've been doing to shake up the industry, to get attention, to rebrand themselves as something else. And I think we can count on the fact that these guys are going to be releasing a lot of really awesome comics moving forward, because let's be honest, their comics, the quality of the paper, high grade. The stories are pretty darn good. The artwork, pretty incredible. These guys are doing some good stuff, and I think that they're going to be around for a while. Were any of their comics scheduled to be released after the end of the year? I don't think so. I don't think so. Again, I think we're worrying about the wrong thing, because I don't think that they're going out of business. I think that you're probably going to be okay, to be honest with you. Most people that pre-booked actually pre-booked for a lot of like the first like 5 issues or whatever it was. I don't think anything went longer than 5 issues. My guess is that most of that stuff will be released before the end of the year. My general feeling also is that a lot of this stuff was potentially already in the can before the pandemic, because if you remember, they were supposed to come out around the time that the pandemic actually occurred. So there was no way that they were going to come out if they already didn't have some stuff in the can. So I feel like they already have this stuff, and now we're just having it be released to us. So, let me scroll through some of the comments here, see what else you guys are talking about. When are we going to get a Marvel versus Bad Idea miniseries? I think you're probably way away from that. You probably potentially see a crossover more with Valiant, because didn't these guys come from Valiant? So you may see more of a Valiant crossover versus a Marvel, or maybe even an Image, or one of these other smaller publishers. You might see that type of crossover versus Marvel. But anything is possible with a lot of money and and enough effort. Anything is possible. Matt Wood says, I drove 2 hours to my nearest LCS that sells Bad Idea books. One at Wellsville, was told that they only ordered enough for their pull list customers, these books, and there you go. And that's why, again, on one hand, it's really good for readers and collectors, and it's bad for speculators. But then again, making the argument, there are people out there that will buy a book for, what is it, $4.99 or whatever it is, and put that bad boy on Instagram or eBay and make some serious money. I want to say ENIAC or whatever it was going for like $400 or something like that at one point. And forget about it. If you got the first print and the not first print or whatever it was, and the gold button, I think those were going for even more money than that. So Doug, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. We are just talking a little bit about some of the stuff that is actually going on. The bad idea books are indeed very limited. I think that it is definitely purposeful on their part. It is purposeful, again, to get us to talk about it. Right? By limiting it and not doing widespread distribution, it forces us to talk about it. It forces us to do what Matt just talked about, which is to drive a couple of hours in hopes of actually getting the book, right? We have people that are prepaying for the entire series. Everything that they're coming out with, people are prepaying for it. These are the reasons why they're doing this stuff. Again, this stuff is not by accident. And as a result of this, there will always be those that have the stuff and then those that don't, and those that want. And there's that not conflict, but there's that give and take there. So again, what they're doing is very smart in a lot of different ways. It also, by printing a certain number, by having pre-book, all that kind of stuff, then you don't have a big print run. You print what you need in order to fulfill the actual demand, the demand that you are actually creating. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Think about the supply and demand effects that these guys are actually putting in place right now. It really is impressive. It really is impressive what they are doing. All right. So with that, I'm going to wrap this up. I need to go downstairs and break down some boxes because I have some people that are coming to pick up more boxes today and then also tomorrow. So I need to go break down boxes for the wife. I wanted to get on here because so many people were sending me messages asking questions about the bad idea and what I thought about that. I wanted to get on here and record this message or this video really quickly for you guys. There was a video that was actually released a short while ago, so I'm stepping on my own toes, but my hope is that you guys will actually go and watch that video. And the video is on whether comic book collecting is for rich people. You heard me talk about that during yesterday's Ready, Set, Go preview show. And I hope you guys will now check out the video. As always, if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.